Laser sights will make you a more accurate and confident shooter by providing visual feedback on sight alignment and trigger control. Crimson Trace, making laser sight standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
It's the NRA's 2016 annual meetings and exhibits in Louisville, and Tom is on location at the Ruger booth on the show floor. So let's get back to Gun Talk.
All right, we are in the Ruger booth, and so since we're in the Ruger booth, we thought, well, we ought to have the guys from Ruger come join us. So Mike Fifer, Chris, I appreciate you guys being here, man. Having us here, this is fabulous. So how's it going so far?
Well, so far the show has been awesome. Great traffic here in the booth and on the show floor, and of course there's a lot of great events that the NRA holds, for their members.
Right, because it's not. I guess people need to understand. I should explain. We're talking with Chris Killoy. We should explain to people this is not just a trade show. It's the annual meetings. There's other things going on here, right?
Absolutely. They've got their meetings with their board of directors. They've got the meetings for the various groups like the NRA ILA, which we're very, very active with. And then you have the show floor where we see so many of our customers that we don't get a chance to see throughout the year.
All these manufacturers have booths. And right before we go on, this guy walks up to you, Chris, and he says, hey, I got some Rugers. And then he says, and I want to talk to you about something, right? It's always that way. And they start off with, I love your product, and I've got several of them, but I want to talk to you about something. So What do you want to talk about?
Well, that gentleman wanted to talk about, the number of guns he had, but then he had a question about his 1022 that he bought in the 70s. And
sure.
We're happy to help him. That's what we're here for.
Well, and that's kind of the fun of it. It's not like a SHOT Show where you're just doing sales. You're actually talking to the people who buy your product and use your products.
No, that's really nice. This is a consumer show, and it's absolutely my favorite show of the whole year because everybody who comes in here is really a true believer. They believe in our firearm rights, the right to keep and bear arms, and it means a lot to them. And so, I can relate to these folks. This is fun.
We love talking about products and guns and all that. But right before we went on the air, you said, hey, I want to tell you about something that happened yesterday. So you have the floor, because I would like for people to understand what's going on here.
Okay, once a year we have a big industry luncheon, which brings a lot of folks from manufacturing companies, distributors, the big independent retailers, some of the big chain retailers, and it's hosted by the NRA ILA. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to raise some funds for ILA and to recognize those people who've given money.
Right.
And so I was told I had the opportunity to give a 2-minute talk while we presented a check for $4 million to NRA ILA from our 2 million gun challenge.
Wow.
So I figured, I got 2 minutes. What could I do with that?
Yeah.
And obviously I wanted to thank everybody, but I figured I could use the time even better. This is probably the most critical election of my lifetime.
I told somebody earlier, this election is, my term for it is apocalyptic.
That's right.
Because it's an on-off switch. And if we lose it, we don't just lose the election, we can't even imagine what we could possibly lose.
Right. So I did a little behind-the-scenes work the night before, twisting arms on some of the key guys in the industry, because I said when I get my 2 minutes, I want to ask people to make a contribution right on the spot.
Okay, so you're going to pony up $4 million, but you're going to turn around and say, all right, how about the rest of you?
Exactly.
Okay.
And it wildly exceeded my expectations. The first guy to really step up, which was fantastic, was Larry Potterfield of Midway USA.
Right.
And he said, Mike, I'll do a challenge grant of $1 million. Whoever will contribute money now, I will match them up to $1 million.
Holy smoke.
And that got us started. And so I asked for volunteers from the lunch crowd, and the first guy stood up and said, my name is, and I'll pledge $10,000. And it went from there, and we had a couple of big contributions. Smith & Wesson gave $100,000.
Wow.
Cabela's, I think, gave $50,000. There were a few big ones along the way, but there were a lot of $2,500, $5,000, $10,000.
People write personal checks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the end, And capping it off, Mr. Brownell chipped in $250,000. We went over the match, and we raised a total of $2,271,000.
That is awesome.
They let me use a whole 20 minutes of my 2 minutes.
You used 20 minutes for your 2-minute talk, but as long as you were making money, it made sense. And this is a battle that we just have to win. I mean, we have to win this.
And the ILA is going to use the money very intelligently. It's get out the vote. It's voter education.
Right.
It's trying to make folks who haven't really been thinking about it to realize that just how much at risk our Second Amendment rights are, and they've just got to get out and vote. And take 10 of your friends with you.
Well, exactly. And make sure they're registered to vote, because that doesn't do you any good. I just want to put one fine point on this. I want people to understand, yes, Ruger is a company. You make products, you sell things, you're publicly traded, but you're in this to win this. You guys are a big part of the Second Amendment rights community. And I want people to understand that you don't just make things and send them out the door. You believe in this.
And frankly, even people who don't care for guns, if they want their First Amendment, they ought to work hard to protect the Second Amendment.
Exactly. All right, now I've got to ask you. You said Donald Trump Jr. was there. And I have heard from several people who were there and said, this guy is impressive. Chris?
He really was. It goes by Don Jr., and he did a great job, very articulate, spoke to us without any notes, without any prepared copy there, and did a great job talking about
he's not a poser.
No, he's not.
A shooter.
He's a high power shooter. He's a reloader, and he's not one of those guys that just wants to get a photo op, holding a firearm.
Right.
So
and then I found out he reloads.
He does,
and he doesn't need to save the money.
He doesn't need to save money. He does it because he's working up his hand loads for his high power shooting, I'm sure. So.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, I met him some years ago. I was giving a talk at a hunting camp, and he was in the audience.
Really?
A member of that hunting club.
So this is not a recent thing either.
No.
This is not a thing, we'll do this for the election kind of a deal. That is...
No, he's a real deal.
I got an idea for you. Don Jr. for head of the ATF.
Oh, there you go. Well, we're saying, he sounded so good, I said, let's get him on Tom's show.
Oh, we're going to work on that. We're going to see if we can get him on here. That would be terrific.
I think I heard him mention he'd like to be head of the Department of the Interior.
Ooh.
And that would be great to have him protecting our national parks.
Wouldn't that be something? We could go for that.
He understands the American conservation model, that all those dollars for conservation are coming from hunters and fishermen.
Right. And so many people who are enjoying the national forest and our public lands don't understand that hunters are spending more than $3 million a day, right? I mean, you guys send some awfully big checks in on these excise taxes, right? I mean,
that's right. A lot of people don't realize, when we sell a firearm to one of our wholesalers, or an importer sells it to a wholesaler or a retailer,
right?
10% of handguns and 10% of ammo goes as federal excise tax, 11% of long guns. That's a big number.
That's a huge number.
We sent in a check for $15 million a couple weeks ago.
That's not your annual.
No,
$15 million just to go for habitat restoration, for taking care of the environment, for wildlife.
For conservation.
That's hunters and gun owners. And a lot of them are gun owners who are not necessarily hunters, because it's every gun bought for self-defense or anything else, right?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. And, of course, and on the that's the Pittman-Robertson Act, and on the fishing side, we've got the Dingell-Johnson. So you've got the same thing on fishing equipment, where the people who are actually out there, hunters, fishermen, are paying for conservation. And then you have some people who are saying, we got to get rid of hunting and fishing because we have to save the animals. And going, really? How much have you ponied up? Where's your money?
Right.
So, I mean, I always tell them, I said, look, we literally invented the word conservation. Hunters did. We are the original conservationists. I always laughed. I said, I was there at the first Earth Day. I said, welcome to the party, guys. We've been doing this for decades. That's what hunters do. We are Earth Day. Every day we're out there.
Yep,
so it's just what we are. Tell you what, I'm going to hold you guys over. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the Ruger products. I mean, we got to do a little bit of that because you guys, your booth is swamped as it always is. You got cool things going on all the time. And we've actually been able to take some of them out and play with them. And I can share some of that because, yes, they work. And, yes, they're utility and all that. Honestly, what they really are is they're just fun guys. You know that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
All righty. Don't go anywhere. We're right back. I'm Tom Gresham, and this is Gun Talk Radio.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Every crossbreed holster is handmade based on the design invented by our founder. A Kydex pocket molded around your gun for perfect retention. Leather backing for comfort. Specially designed clips allow you to tuck in your shirt for complete concealment. The highest quality mag carriers and belts sturdy enough to hold any gun. Our holsters come with a lifetime warranty and 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Crossbreed. Conceal and carry the cross. Crossbreedholsters.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends. Of John Browning, the father of modern firearms. Of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life. Of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years. And the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns. The DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free, yes, a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, you know. You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or GunDealio.com.
Here at SilencerShop.com, we normally focus on making the world a quieter place. Not today. Rule 41F takes effect soon, making silencer ownership more complicated. The good news is SilencerShop.com can help, but don't delay. Purchase any in-stock silencer by July 6th, and Silencer Shop guarantees to get your Form 4 submitted and execute your transfer before deadline under current rules, or give you $100. The Powered by Silencer Shop guarantee. Details and restrictions at SilencerShop.com.
All right, and we are back. We're still talking with Chris Killoy and Mike Fifer from Ruger Firearms. We're in their booth here, having a good time. One of the fun parts is, as people are walking by, we know so many people after coming to this so many times. We're talking with people, we're shaking hands, and we're in the booth, and we're doing the radio and having a good time, and this is fun.
It is.
You know, I like the NRA show. There's a different feel, a different vibe to it. SHOT Show's it's got its thing, but these are real people. These are the real folks.
Oh, yeah. We before we came to the show today, we had a meeting with all our staff that's working the booth.
Right.
And one, we thank them for their hard work and giving up their weekend to be here. But two, reminded them that this is the real reason, for our existence. These are our customers. These are we get distracted if somebody wants to have a meeting on, selling us other items and things like that. We're here to talk to our customers, and our customers want to talk to us.
Right. And they want to tell you, they want to ask you, okay, why don't you bring back the XYZ? I mean, that's
it's great stuff. I mean, we have a program. We try to formalize it and call it Voice of the Customer. But part of it is just listening. And so we have a lot of our key manufacturing folks and our key product managers here to listen.
All right, so you got some cards here. It's got like playing cards of all these new products you guys have got. So what do you have? Pick a few that you want to talk about.
Well, a couple things, of course, people that are thinking of Ruger right now is a Ruger Precision Rifle.
Right.
Which is very hot in the marketplace. We're doing our best to keep up and catch up with demand. Tremendous demand for that product.
No kidding.
So that's whether it's 6.5 or 308, and to a little lesser extent the 243, but the 6.5 especially has really defied our expectations with how strong it is.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, there are Facebook groups that are just about the precision rifle, and they're posting their groups, and they're showing what's going on with their rifles and how they're decking them out and what kind of optics they're putting them on. It's become a cult thing built around the precision rifle.
Right. And then we, which is brand new. The precision rifle is a brand new platform for us. But then we have, guns like our 1022, which everybody's had,
Right.
Hopefully.
Who doesn't have one, right?
Right. It's a wonderful gun.
Chris, I got to jump in here.
Okay.
The newest product we've launched, and I think it's going to be one of my favorite, is the new 1022 Takedown Light.
Yes.
We've had the light pistol with the aluminum receiver and the small stainless barrel down the middle, and our engineers finally figured out how to do that on the 1022.
Huh.
And it is awesome.
And it still shoots?
It shoots great.
Huh.
And nice thing is, it's not only so light, but because with that aluminum barrel now,
right,
we can anodize it all kinds of different colors and things.
Sweet.
And I found a navy blue one, and I can't wait to get that and engrave on that.
Mr. Navy here,
Go Navy, beat Army. What do you think, Chris?
Okay, we got West Point over here, and
and Annapolis.
Annapolis,
It's been tough the last few Army-Navy games. Army hasn't done so well there, so we're gonna we're gonna reverse that trend this year.
So you can get yours done up in Army colors. Okay,
that's right.
There you go. All right. So we got the 1022 Light. Obviously, what you're doing is giving people not a reason. You're giving them the ability to justify buying yet another 1022, and we're always looking for another reason to buy another because they're just so neat.
Hey, there's a lot of women in the industry buying guns, but there's still a lot of guys, and think about it, we're guys. All we need is an excuse to buy another one.
I tell you what, I'll okay it for you if you'll okay it for me. How's that?
Exactly.
There you go. We'll give each other permission.
Yep.
All right, so we got that. One of the things I did want to just touch on is the fact that Ruger is making a silencer. That is so cool and so mainstream for silencers. But you also, a number of your guns now are coming threaded for silencers.
Right. We try to make, really every firearm possible, we try to look at a threaded application. We try to stay with standard thread sizes. And 1022 Light that Mike was talking about, it's half 28. It's got a nice muzzle cap on it. And we try to make sure that, one, it will accommodate our suppressor or anyone's suppressor. Right now we just have the one model in 22, but you can probably figure out there's more coming.
But it's for 22 Magnum and for 17, right?
Correct.
17 HMR?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. That's a 3 caliber suppressor right there.
I'll tell you, one of the best applications for our new suppressor isn't just kind of shooting quietly, or it looks really good too.
Right.
But really one of the best applications is training new shooters.
Absolutely.
New shooters are worried about recoil and noise.
Yep.
And putting that on one of our 22s takes both away because, frankly, a sound suppressor also acts as like a muzzle brake.
Muzzle brake, yes.
Yeah, so you take all the noise away, you take even the limited recoil away, and it's a great training aid. People turn around with a huge smile on their face. That's why I always stand close to a new shooter so you can push the gun back down range.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful to see that smile on their face.
And in one of your pistols with a suppressor, you could even use supersonic velocity because in the pistol it's not going to go supersonic, and you can use whatever ammo you have and it's still going to be quiet in there. That's pretty neat. And you have a lot of choices for people who want to put a suppressor on. It seems like practically every 22 you have, there's one version of it, with a threaded barrel now.
Right. That's our goal, and we like to make it fun. Whatever at the end of the day,
that's what it is.
If we're going to keep growing the sport and growing Ruger, we need to make you excited about coming out and trying a new product.
All right. What else you got in your cards here?
Well, there's quite a few new things from Ruger this year, but one of the new ones is, a lot of people ask have we forgotten the Hawkeye series, the M77, and the answer is absolutely not. We just introduced the Hawkeye FTW Hunter. FTW Ranch in Texas is a place where we sent well over 100 of our engineers to get experience in trained in the shooting
So they would
sports.
understand about shooting and long range and their hunting. They have a hunter course there, the SAM course.
Right, and what's important in rifle design, that they can translate into cost-effective improvements and changes.
Right.
Back at our factory.
Okay.
And so we've got the FTW Hunter series, got a couple different calibers there, all the way up to 375 Ruger. We've got 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Win Mag, 260 Remington, 30-06 Springfield, of course, and the 7 Mag, and I mentioned the 308. So it's a real broad product line. The subset, but still part of the 77 series, which is really done so well for Ruger over the years.
Yeah, so, bringing on the Ruger American rifle doesn't mean that you're not having the Hawkeye around.
Right.
So, okay, that's pretty cool because I know a lot of people like that. And, of course, I don't know if that's the card you have up, but I want you to talk about the Ruger American pistol. That is, I got to tell you, I picked up a lot of pistols, and you think, oh, yeah, it's another polymer pistol. Yeah. And literally, the first time I went out and shot it, one round, 9mm through it, and I stopped and went, oh, that's different. One round, just that's all it took.
I'll tell you, one of the nicest pieces of feedback we've gotten on that gun is police departments telling us that their recruits are qualifying at a much higher rate with that gun than they did with the old service pistol.
It's so soft shooting. You just, I don't know, it's like it's defying physics because it just feels, it's like it's reducing recoil. And I know it can't, but it feels that way.
Well, and, you've got 3 interchangeable back straps in the case of the 9mm and 2 in the 45. So, our goal is to cover 95% of people's hand sizes. And that's a big challenge when you get right down to it. And, but that's our goal, and I think we did a pretty good job at it.
It's a great pistol. I mean, no kidding, guys. You knocked it out of the park with that one.
And it's got that recoil-reducing cam on the barrel. That makes a big difference. I mean, there actually is a technical reason. There are physics behind that reduced recoil.
Well, it works. I mean, we've all heard a lot of people say, this does this. You go, yeah. You shoot this one. I'm telling you, one time you shoot it, you go, huh, that's really different. Love the pistol. Love it. All right, got time for you to do one more quickly.
Well, one more thing on accessories. You know, we talk about 1022. You think about it like it's a small block Chevy. There's a lot you can do with it. And one of the cool things you can add, things like our BX25 magazine.
Sure.
The other one is our BX trigger.
Yes.
We have a great drop-in trigger that you don't have to be a gunsmith to go ahead and change those parts.
You can pop it out, pop this one in, good to go.
Very easy. We even tested it out on a couple of our guys, had their kids do it just to make sure it was really easy to do.
I'll be darned. Yeah, and if you have a 1022, you need a whole stack of the BX25 triggers, or magazines, though, because, you don't want to have to be loaded at the range. You load them before you go, right?
There you go.
There you go. That'll work. Guys, thank you for hosting us here. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate it. We just love working with Ruger. You guys are the best.
Well, we love having you here. So
Thank you.
All right, next we got to go out somewhere and shoot something. Shoot some guns, man.
There you go.
All right, we'll do that. Mike Fifer, Chris Killoy, thank you so much. Don't go far. We'll be right back.
Now, once again, from Freedom's safest place, the NRA show in Louisville. Let's get back to gun talk.
All righty, hanging out at the NRA's, trade show, annual meeting, gathering of 50, 60, maybe 70,000 people here. I'm joined by Ryan Gresham from Gun Talk, TV, Gun Venture, Guns and Gear, all the other stuff that we do.
Roku channel, YouTube,
that's right.
Twitter.
We do have a Roku channel now.
We have a Roku channel.
How about that?
The secret is leaking out.
It is. We didn't really want to announce it exactly, but it kind of got out. It's amazing. People find it.
Well, we kind of wanted it to be a soft launch. We wanted to make sure everything looked right and was working right. And with technology, that's always, a challenge.
We don't know if it actually does yet, but it's out there. So
yeah, it seems to be working. We're running into people here. They're saying, they're watching it.
Oh, yeah?
Tuning into the shows and that kind of thing.
So what we're talking about is the Roku. It's that they call it the over-the-top system that you can have. And you can actually get Roku a lot of different ways.
Yes.
But you go to you search for Gun Talk, right?
Gun Talk is the name of the channel.
Gun Talk is the name of the channel. Set it up, and then you can watch our Gun Talk TV show, our Guns and Gear TV show, the First Person Defender.
First Person Defender, all the seasons of that. And then that's kind of where we started, and then we'll be adding more content to it as we go.
And radio.
Yeah, we'll be adding radio shows.
Add the radio shows to it also.
And then, there'll be more over-the-top stuff to come. We'll announce it
we'll announce
in the
it,
next month or so.
We'll have more to come, as they say. All right, so yesterday we're sitting there actually getting set up for the Hired Guns gig. The guy walks over and hands us, was it Steve Fiesta?
Yep.
Hands us this paper from the Blue Book of Gun Values. He says, you got to read this. It's a local paper, kind of a gossip rag, it looks like. And this guy wrote this column. He says, NRA is coming to town. Welcome to NRA. Says, and I understand that you NRA does some good things and teaches people, but honestly, I wish you'd all go away.
Yeah, that's how he started off. This is the kind of the editor's letter at the front of this weekly deal. It says, NRA, please go away. I don't mean like leave Louisville. I mean disappear.
Disappear. Yeah, go away forever, all of you. So it's it was actually refreshingly honest.
Yeah.
In a certain way, because he said, I know people say that you do some good, but you're actually responsible for 30,000 people getting killed with guns every year. So I'm thinking, wait a minute, none of us are doing it. We're not the ones doing it, and we're the ones that are teaching gun safety classes and gun responsibility and safe storage. Yeah. But somehow we're responsible for this?
I was just having this discussion this week because some goofy bill was trying to get passed through at the state level, and it thankfully got killed. But part of the bill was a gun safety thing that was not gun safety. You have these politicians or just anti-gun rights people who want to pass gun safety measures. Well, I'm holding my fingers up in quotes. But they've never taken a gun safety class. They don't even know how to safely handle a gun,
can't even describe what parts of a gun are.
So when they say gun safety, what they mean are regulations and
restrictions and control. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly right. And they'll actually openly say, so, all right, everybody, don't use the term gun control. That's not a good term for us. So say every time you want to restrict people, say gun safety. That's a better term for us.
Right.
So, they're pretty open about the fact that they're trying to camouflage what they're doing. That doesn't make sense, but there it is.
Yeah.
So, where we were like on a elevator or something, and somebody started to ask us, well, are there going to be protesters there?
There was some locals saying, so you guys here for the NRA show? Yes. You think there are going to be a bunch of protesters and stuff? No. I mean, every year the NRA show is at a different location, and every year that city, you have the news covering it, and they're going, well, there's going to be protesters, and it's controversial and all this stuff. And you've got 80,000 like-minded people showing up and just happy to be here and see some neat guns. And then you have, 17 people holding signs across the street. So there's always somebody who to be bad about something, I guess.
Sure. And, once they get their 17 to 25 people protesting, the media shows up and, gets that and puts that on the news and go, okay, but we just had 80,000 people in here who are polite and considerate and kind and all of that. Oh, yeah, well, that doesn't make any news, but we got a handful of people with signs, and they're there until the cameras go away, and then when the cameras leave, they leave.
Yep. So it's just funny. But next year, if you haven't ever been to the NRA show, it's really a fun time.
It is.
You get to see a lot of interesting, gear and guns and stuff. But they also have a lot of events going on. They had a women's luncheon this morning.
Right.
With all these.
They have seminars and instruction, and and if you're an NRA instructor, they have classes and seminars for that. If you think about becoming an instructor,
it's really it's just a cool. And every time you kind of go, gosh, this is a neat vibe.
Turn around, look at this thing this guy's carried behind us. That is so cool. It's a sawhorse looking rig with some plastic bottles hanging out that obviously are targets.
Yeah.
And you're going, and that's just it. This guy just walked past on the, and you're going, I want one of those.
Yeah. He probably just bought it.
I want one of those, and I want 500 rounds of 22 ammo and a Ruger 1022. That's what I want.
So next year, it's going to be in Atlanta.
Ooh, yeah.
So we have a station in Atlanta. All you guys listen in Atlanta, next year, be sure to go. If you're in driving distance, come on down.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we're going to be there, that's for sure.
We'll be there. It's going to be April or May. I don't know what the date is, but,
And check the NRA website, and if you're not an NRA member, shame on you. You got to become a member, especially this year more than ever.
Especially this year. It's all the marbles, man.
This is it. This is pretty much for everything. I mean, it's the Supreme Court, it's the lower court justices, it's the agencies, it's the lawsuits, it's the protection, it's the Heller decision, it's the Supreme Court, it's everything.
And the side that's against your rights, they're not being quiet about it. They're not hiding it.
Yeah.
They're coming out and saying, this is what we want to do.
They're saying, we're coming for you.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I believe them.
Yeah, I believe what they're saying.
There you go. All right, thanks, Rod. Appreciate it. We'll be right back in just a minute with more Gun Talk.
What's important in a gun safe? Security, reliability, safety? good looks? It all comes down to quality. Quality that's built in from the beginning. Liberty Safe has made quality products for 29 years right here in the USA. Trust your guns, your valuables, and your safety to Liberty Safe. Did you ever regret buying quality? I didn't think so. Get the best. Whatever your budget, get a Liberty Safe. LibertySafe.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition, and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
I'm just as good as these guys. When will I get my chance to prove it?
Your chance is now. American Marksman is a nationwide series of target shooting competitions designed to give you your big break. Think you've got what it takes to go home with $50,000? Visit ammarksman.com to register today. That's ammarksman.com. American Marksman. Are you the one?
Attacks happen every day. How will you react? See real people put into real-life criminal attack situations on First Person Defender. Discover what works and what doesn't. Kidnapping, ATM robbery, home invasion, and other attacks. Learn how to save your life and the lives of your family. Get the entire first season on DVD at shopguntalk.com. Get prepared. shopguntalk.com.
Brownells has always given you an advantage. With their huge selection of forever guaranteed gun parts, ammunition, shooting accessories, and more. And now they're offering you the Edge. For just $49.95, Brownells Edge covers your standard shipping and any return shipping cost for 1 year. Brownells Edge members also receive discount expedited shipping and exclusive offers. Get the Edge today by visiting brownells.com/edge.
You know, it really wouldn't be the NRA show, and it wouldn't be Gun Talk if you couldn't take advantage of your friends. And just abuse them as much as you can. Jim Shepard walks by from shooting wire, the outdoor wire, all of that, and says, "Here, come here. Put your butt in that chair right there. We're going to talk for a few minutes here. How are you, my friend?"
I'm good. Half a day at a trade show. I'll sit down for any reason. It doesn't bother me at all.
Just give me a chair.
Man.
I'm good.
I'm good. What do you want to talk about? Anything.
You made it to our fun little musical extravaganza last night. Was that a hoot?
That was about as much fun as I've ever had with an organization. And they were pretty good.
They're pretty good. You know?
My favorite was the Proud Mary thing. I mean, the drummer was a knockout on that.
Yeah, right. He plays once every 42 years, whether he needs to or not.
Well, I'm going to be here, I hope, for his next deal.
Yeah,
42 years.
I'm around for that. Huh? Yeah, they drafted me to play Proud Mary is what we're talking about.
It was
here.
Fun. It was a great fun thing.
All right, I'm sitting here and people are saying traffic is backed up for 7 miles to get in here. We had somebody who was supposed to be on the show. She's been in traffic for 3 hours trying to get to the NRA show. All right, tell me again how gun ownership's going down and nobody cares about this?
The numbers speak for themselves.
They really do.
There's nobody in here. No, because they're all stuck out there.
That's right.
You can't get here to get in here.
The traffic, we're not kidding. It's a 3-hour traffic jam, and it's backed up for 7 miles on the interstate trying to get to the NRA show.
I talked to a gentleman out of the gentleman's room who told me when he went sprinting by me, he had been standing outside in the rain for 2 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
To get in.
Holy
And
cow.
it took him over an hour and a half to get in, and he rode the shuttle. But the traffic's so thick, nobody can get in. It's crazy.
Yeah, the guy just told me, he says, we got to within a half a mile in the cab, and then we just got out and walked.
Yeah.
That's all we could do.
I mean, I grew up here. This is my hometown. And I've seen a lot of big events here. I have never seen traffic like this. This is beyond out of bounds. It's just crazy.
It's crazy. It's amazing. And it's not, which helps me understand, it's not quite as crowded in here as I thought it would be. It's because they're all still in their cars.
They can't get
trying to get here.
And the KFEC has a massive parking area. So after you spend your hours getting in,
you have to hike.
You're going to park, and then you're going to, be 2 rest stops from getting here.
Is it raining out there now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I'm glad I'm in here. I got here before it started raining.
Me too.
Maybe it'll pass by the time we have to leave from here. You know?
Well, it's going to be just as bad getting out as it is getting in.
There is that, because everybody who came here also has to leave, right? 7 hours to get. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Holy cow!
No.
All right, shooting wire, outdoor wire, tactical wire. You do all of this cool stuff. You are a pretty good, keen observer of the political process. You've been at this a long time in various, actually, really news outlets, CNN and such. Your take on this election from the standpoint of gun ownership, and what are you hearing? Read the tea leaves for me.
The tea leaves at this point. Well, there's 2 sets of tea leaves.
Okay.
If you talk to the people, you hear one thing. If you talk to the media, you hear a completely different story
What?
or an opposite spin on it. Not this media.
I'm hiding my media badge
other
now.
of the media.
Okay.
Some of the media say that there is just no way that a Republican win the election this year.
Right.
I'm saying I think a blind squirrel could win that election this year.
Really?
Maybe as an independent.
But you think anybody could beat Hillary this year?
I think Hillary will beat Hillary this year. I don't think it's up to us, because she just who she is, and her personality is such that it'll come out.
There are Democrats who say I can't vote for her.
Yes,
which hints Bernie Sanders. That's why there's a Bernie Sanders candidacy here.
Sure, it is.
Because if she were charismatic the way Bill was, because he could charm anybody anytime, he was that good. And she just doesn't have any of that. But if she had that, then there would not have been a Bernie Sanders candidacy.
No, he's there because the party had to have him there. As bad as he is,
right?
They've got to do something. They're serving the far wing with Bernie. Hillary is serving. I don't know what Hillary. Hillary's serving Hillary.
You know what? We know what he has done for us, though, is he has made her expose herself on the gun issue.
She has been forced to take positions which she will not do ordinarily.
Right. She normally would be hiding those, but now she's had to come out and say, yes, I do actually want to ban guns, and I do actually want to reverse the Supreme Court decision. I do actually want the Supreme Court to say you do not have an individual right to own a gun. And let's see, we're going to have, and it's just one after another, and you're going, well, I know that's what you always wanted to do, but I just can't believe you're saying it.
Yeah, well, you have no choice.
She has no choice at this point.
She has no option but to do that. And I think the other thing, there's the constitutional issue of what happens if the chosen candidate comes through the process and is indicted 45 days before the election. Do you declare a constitutional crisis, put the election on hold, leave the current administration in until it resolves? You can't do that.
I don't think there's any chance in the world she'll be indicted simply because it's an Obama Justice Department.
Yeah, that's true. It is a rigged system.
Well, it is.
And now, it's rigged in favor of the incumbents.
If that happens, I think what you'll see is some senior FBI people resign in protest because they're true professional law enforcement people, and they're going to say, no, this is wrong. What you did to General Petraeus compared to this is you can't compare the two. So it's great political theater, but for us, it's more than that. It's life or death because this is an election of catastrophic proportions.
Every 4 years it seems like I say this is the most important election. They are.
They are.
We're at such a point, the tipping point, that...
But in this case, she's actually laid out. She said, all right, here's the deal. I'm going to put all the gun stores out of business. I'm going to put all the gun companies out of business. I'm going to ban the ownership of a lot of your guns. We're going to make it to where if you have almost any kind of misdemeanor conviction, you won't be able to have a gun. If you're on the no-fly secret list put on by secret bureaucrats and you can't find out how you get on there and you can't find out how you get off, so we can put anybody we want to on there, you won't have a gun.
And by the way, we're going to force your doctor under the HIPAA regs to
turn
you in. And if you have a catastrophic event happen in your family, you're depressed, you're down, and you have medication, guess what? DQ, pal. Get on the bench.
Simple as
Turn
that.
them in. We're coming
The choice is very simple this year. Everybody's got to get on board. Thank you, Jim Shepard.
You're welcome.
All right. We'll be right back. All right, back with you, and we're closing this thing out. We're at the NRA annual meetings in Louisville, Kentucky. We're having a ball here. Tom Gresham, it's Gun Talk. Thanks again to the folks at Ruger for letting us use their place, hanging out. Just great people, great products, great company, it really is. Just had an interesting conversation with a fellow who is actually in the know. He's describing a meeting he had with Donald Trump. He said, look, he says, this guy's the real deal. He's, it's interesting. I told him, I said, here's the thing. I will vote for Trump, but I would really like to be able to get behind him. He says, we're going to help you do that. We, the NRA, we're going to help people understand him and get behind him and understand it because he really is the real deal. And said, one of the things he told me was interesting. He went into a meeting with 25 people who've known Trump for a long time. And he said, they said, look, here's the deal. I've known this guy a long time. If he shakes your hand on a deal, you don't need a contract. It just is there. You can trust the guy. That's the kind of guy he is. He'll tell you what he's thinking, and you can trust him. But, okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So that's pretty neat. It's going to be an amazing, amazing time through the summer as we head toward November and the election. The media doesn't get Trump, and they probably won't understand what's going on until long after the election. I have had two people who are very smart tell me in the last few hours that they think that it's going to be a Trump win by big. They think, actually just had somebody tell me, thinks that New York is going to go for Trump. New York State, whoa, how huge would that be? But it's also indicative of the other part, which is people don't like Hillary Clinton. They just don't like her. They don't trust her. They believe it when people say that she has broken the law. They believe it when people say she has supported her husband in his attacks on women. So I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's fascinating. And I think one of the things that's happening is a true change of a revolutionary nature in the election process and politics. Hello. I'm seeing some of my friends walking by here. It's going to be massive. We're going to talk a good bit about this more as we go along. I do want to just kind of address the NRA show, the annual meetings. For those who wonder, are we alone? Are there many of us? Are we a minority? No, you're not alone. There are a lot of us. We're not a minority. We're 100 million gun owners in America. Right now, as I sit here in this huge hall, there is a 7-mile-long line stuck on the interstate of people trying to get into this show. There's a 3-hour wait of people trying to get to the NRA show. We are the majority, my friends. When you talk about the adults in America, gun owners are huge, and we are powerful, and we can do pretty much anything we want. I love the old line says, well, if the NRA had 20 million members, what could it do? And the answer is anything it wants. Well, why don't they? I don't know. Are you a gun owner and you're not an NRA member? Well, I'm sorry. I know that it offends some people when I say it. Shame on you. What are you thinking? Because, frankly, that's the measuring stick. When people go to the NRA, they say, how's membership? If it's down, then they don't have the influence. If it's up, they do have the influence. It's as simple as that. So you can buy a membership for yourself, for your kids, for your dog. I don't care. You do what you got to do. For $10, you can get an associate membership to the NRA. It adds to the numbers. The other thing is you got to get your friends involved. You have to get your friends registered to vote. You have to make a commitment. You got to put out yard signs. You have to just get involved because there are enough of us. There are enough of us to sway this election. There are enough of us to own this election. There are enough of us to crush the Hillary Clinton campaign. And all it takes is for gun owners like you and like me to say, I am now involved. I'm more than involved. I am now committed. So the question is, are you going to do that? I hope you are. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. Enjoyed it. Ruger, thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.